So I'm going to introduce you to Garuda Mudra, which is the mythological bird. So you start by raise the hands just in front of the chest, a little bit higher than the chest. Palms are facing you. And then you're going to cross them over and just touch the pads of the thumbs and put some pressure. And then separate your wrists so that they're not resting on each other, and spread all the fingers. And this is like the fan in the shape of bird wings. So this is a really nice mudra. It really stretches out all through the fingers as well. And if you think about birds and how they have a kind of, the messages that come from the spirit world, sometimes often with freedom, transcendence, and connection to the divine. So visualize yourself as a huge bird soaring high above the ground, and you can also add in observing yourself from up above. And here we are, we're just going to circle it around, just taking in a little bit of a stretch. If you feel it, kind of a little bit of movement, this idea of wings kind of in and out. And you can take your eye gaze there to the thumbs, so taking it up and round. Just drawing that around the head and coming down towards the chest. Other way with the circles. And any thoughts here, maybe about which kind of bird that you feel any affinity with? I will thread them through in the class, some different ones and some different ideas. Okay. And just release, perhaps a little bit of a wiggle on the fingers or a shake on the wrists. I'm going to stand up, join you for pelvic floor and transverse abdominis exercises. So find the pelvic floor, pull in. Find the TVA, we tend to hollow that one down to the hips. Keep that pelvis tucked under, keeping nice and tall. Pulling in, take 100% with those two muscles here in the core, and then do a slow release for a second. Then go again, pulling in. We're going to do this 10 times. In and out, and in, out, in. Just check you're not holding your breath with this one, and out. And in, out, and 5 more, and in, and out. Releasing any tension in the feet or muscles in the face. 3 more, and in, and out, and in, and out. And last one, pulling in 100% and releasing out. Now find it halfway, so it's about 50% drawing in these core muscles, and we're going to go back to the wings and the bird, expansive breath, just opening out, really stretch the arms out really wide. Exhale, and then just bring that in, chin to chest, and then inhale, opening out. Exhale, chin to chest, almost like you're giving yourself a little bit of a hug. Think about expanding the rib cage as you inhale. Exhale, kind of giving yourself a little bit of a comfort. Coming back into some sort of idea of security, nest. 3 more expansive breaths. Trying to feel all the cells in the body with that inhale. Spreading arms, spreading wings, nice and wide. And release. Shoulders up and shoulders down. A bit of a shrug. Shoulders up, shoulders down. Try and keep that length at the back of the neck. Crown of head shines to the ceiling. Notice if the shoulders go up, if you lose any of the core engagement. So just keep an eye on that. Where's the pelvic floor you're pulling in? Up and down. 2 more. Shoulders up. Bit of a squeeze there. Get rid of any tension in the shoulders and neck. Shoulders up and shoulders down. Now we're going to go to a forward fold. We're going to put in legs cross. So if you cross one leg just in front of the other, reaching up, looking up, full body stretch going up, then chin to chest, bending in the knees. Let's come all the way down, brushing fingertips on the floor, and then lifting back up. Let's do two with this way with the legs crossed, and then we'll switch that over. Switch the legs over. Perhaps even face a different part of the room. Why not? And then uncross the legs. Chin into chest, really bending through the knees. It's a really big glute stretch. It works with the hips as well in here. Forward fold. Just warming up through the spine. Standing back at center. Just making a balance beam. So you're going to walk one foot and take it just in front of the other. And then just take a side bend. So this is going to challenge your balance a little bit. It's going to wake up the muscles in the feet and the ankles. Find the pelvic floor. Then side bend to the other side. Again, that's going to be tricky because you're on this balance beam. And then take that foot behind. Same thing. Going up to your side bend. Really slowly with these as well. Just long exhales. Really feel into that side of the hip. And then forwards again. You might start feeling like a little bit more centered with the balance on the second time round, she says, wobbling around. One more, and then we'll just switch which foot sits in the middle. So gently working into these side bends on a balance. Then just put the other foot in the middle, and then the same thing. Just going up, you got your side bend. And then the other arm. You can always go wider if it's a struggle on the balance. No pressure. Exhale into the stretch. And then we'll just go one more foot forwards and then foot back. How do those tightrope walkers do it? Okay, come back to center. Let's go to squats. Option to put your weight straight in here if you want to do a few squats to start with. Just bring myself down to the ground a bit more with my video. Can you see better? I'll adjust slightly. So, gonna go feet hip width apart. Gonna come down and see if you can put kind of your weights just in front of your feet. Can you see how my back's straight? My hips have gone back. And then squeeze the glutes, lift, and then circle the arms, take the weights over the head. Then again. So it's important here to get this alignment, these shoulders, these knees, and these feet in line. The hips are going back into space, and you're getting this length through the lower back. Option to bend in the elbows and go to a shoulder press instead of circling the arms around if you want to. Sending those hips forwards and up as you lift. Notice when you take the weights over your head that you're just working with the core still, you're not arching in that lower back. The knees don't pronate in, the arches under the feet don't pronate in, feet are parallel facing forwards. Also, I'm just watching screens there, I just watched one of them, and then just thinking about when the weights come down, we're not trying to do this at the end of that move. So think about the crown of head staying in line with spine. So think about the length through the spine there. I just showed you, it's quite unusual to show a bad example, but just as in, I'm just trying to get you to understand. that position we're trying to create there on the spine, not allowing it to, the top part to curve. Let's do 2 more. Finish with the weights down on the floor, knees bent. Let's go to a low squat here. Bring the elbows down into the middle of the knees. You probably won't get your heels down. Some people can, but no pressure. I never get my heels down for this. Just taking a balance. Elbows into knees, hands together, palms together. Think about growing nice and tall through the spine. So you might find it nicer just to dip the chin down to create that length. Just take a couple of deep breaths here. It's a balance. And then we're going to just put a twist in. So just placing one hand down through the middle and then the other hand reach that up to the ceiling. And then we'll swap sides. Place one hand down and reach the other hand up. Come back to center into the balance. Bring the weights if you're still on weights, and we're going to go to a wide squat. So go nice and wide with your legs. I'm just adapting my camera. Bending in the knees. Sumo squat, maybe a little bit of a shimmy side to side if you're tight there in the hips. Think about growing tall. Shoulders down away from ears. And then we'll take the weights, we'll draw a really big circle up over the head. Breathing in, lift. Breathing out as you come down. 4 one way, then take 4 the other way. Keep the head still. Work with the core here, so come back to the pelvic floor, that TVA pulling in. And then take it back around the other way. Inhale, lift, exhale as you come down. Last one. Okay, let's come to center. We're going to do some scapular set and we're going to put in a calf raise. Calf raise, you're just lifting the heels off the floor. Option here to put your weights in. Shoulders down and back, elbows tucked into your sides, just checking they're not back here. So elbows in. That's your scapular set. Stay strong in the wrists. Taking the weights, going backwards, the thumbs driving back. Shoulders down away from ears. Keep an eye on the head here. We often want to dip the chin forwards and arch the lower back. So adding in then up onto the toes. And then down. Calf raise, lift up onto those toes. Down. So if you can make a nice kind of lift, not too wobbly. Rolling through to the ball of the foot towards all the toes, particularly big toe. Keep it going now. It's a balance as well as strengthening when we go up onto our toes. Try and look forwards. We're not looking down here. I know the screen might be down, but try and get the move and bring the eye gaze forwards. 2 more. Heels down, let the weights drop to your side or hands to the side, an easy twist. Just gently take the weights around the hips. You might want to look to the look behind you. Still engaging there with the core. Gonna do the deadlift together today, and I know I normally give that as a single leg exercise on a choice, but we'll all go with that one just so I can keep an eye on what everyone's up to. So I'll show you sideways on with this. So take a shoulder press, so one arm up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to high knee and then drive that leg back option to have a leg straight or leg bent. And then we're going to come halfway down, and you might have both weights, or you might have one weight or no weights with this, or you might go all the way down to the floor and then into your lift back up. Let's see if we can do 5 on each leg. So you've got your high knee, shoulder press, then that leg goes back. Very much targets the hamstring, the deadlift, the glute to hamstring link as well. That's a really good hamstring move. Engaging the core, working here with balance as well. If you've got a squidgy mat as well, sometimes coming off that mat might be a bit easier. Go do it on the floor. Then you're going to swap legs. Again, so you've got that single shoulder press. So I know you can't see me. The shoulder press is like this. Just to show you if you weren't sure. And then into the deadlift. Just checking the big toes there, pressing into the floor, it's engaging. The arch isn't dropping. Should be on that last one now. And we'll put the weights down. Let me just see if I can take that back, and then you can... Just avoiding, there's a massive jigsaw puzzle on the table that I've put my laptop on. I'm just avoiding totally destroying that. Okay, just take pick a leg and take it to the side, opposite arm out to the side. See if you can take a circle with the arm and a circle with the leg. Out to the side. It's almost like you're drawing. If you've got a big paintbrush in your hand, you're drawing a circle in front of you. Around your head. It's a little bit of a tricky one because it's crossbody. Engage the core. Then those bits that we're moving, bring that leg in front. Bring the opposite elbow underneath. Cross over the elbows. If you can cross the wrist, we're taking eagle balance. Start to lift up the elbows. Very nice and tall. Bring the eye gaze if you can. If you want the challenge, take the eye gaze up towards the fingers. And when we think of the eagle, we think of power. We think of the vision and strength. So if you're particularly feeling connected to the eagle today, those might be the reasons why. And release. Let's go to the other side. So start just by lifting the leg, lift the arm, and then let's start with the circles. Just spreading a little bit of paint round. Painting the aura. Then let's find that eagle. So take that leg across. Take that arm as they're going to be the one that dips underneath. Cross the elbows, cross the wrists. Interlink the fingers. Cross the thumbs. Take the full balance there if you want to. Lifting up that top foot. And lifting up the arms. Take the eye gaze up to the fingertips. Getting that stretch on the shoulders. Taking a deep breath. And release. Okay, single leg exercise. So I'll direct you if you want them, but if you want, you can go straight into them. 10 on each leg. So go and choose one exercise. So if you're new, this is where you can choose your exercise. You could do lunges. You could do chair squats, which I'll just demo now. So you're sitting down on a chair. You lift up one leg, and then you're going to see if you can stand up on that one, on the other leg. 10 on each leg. just demo some other ones. This is when the blocks are quite handy. You can make yourself a step with the blocks and stand on that. Or if you've got stairs handy, you could do a single leg dip, coming off a stair, step, or a block. So 10 on each leg. You're controlling what's happening there with the knee and the foot. Try not to let the arch drop in or the knee pronate. Squeeze those glutes on the lift. Send the hips forwards and up. Engage the pelvic floor. Try and keep your shoulders relaxed. The muscles in your face relaxed. So this is all really good stuff for knees. Also glute activating work. We'll also work with lower leg stuff, if anyone gets any lower leg niggles. If you want a challenge with the balance thing, you could cross your arms. You can make it more challenging. Hopefully you've moved on to the other leg by now. If you're finished, we're going to go to downward dog, so you can meet us there if you want to, or pick another exercise and have a try. Take a jazz walk in downward dog. Pedaling through the feet. Stretching out the backs of the legs, send the hips up to the ceiling. Trying to get that stretch there on the shoulders as well. We're trying to get this nice line from the hips coming down the top of the body to the wrists. Spread those fingers like we did in Garunda with the manja. Option here, we're going to go wild thing if you want it. If wild thing feels like it's going to be too much for you, maybe play with just a gate pose. Gate pose is bring one knee down, twizzle, and see if you can kind of play with side body work. If you're on the wild thing, we're going to go knee towards chest in that downward dog. Then we're lifting that knee and that opening in that hip. We're opening up. That foot can drop, and we're just getting a big stretch across the body with that twist. Have a moment back on the jazz walk, and then you can always go again. Other side, knee to nose. Opening up that hip to start with, don't rush through, and then you can add in opening up. One more on each side if you're there, wild things. One more stretch there if you're on a gate pose or if you haven't swapped sides with the gate pose. Then we'll all meet on all fours. I'm going to put the weights back in on this, so if you've got them handy, grab them, just put them to the sides. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Take a moment, find neutral spine, so that if you need a pelvic tilt there, then find that pelvic floor, find that TVA. Eye gaze to the front of the mat. Let's get that length all through the spine. We're going to take a row back with the arm and opposite leg, kick back. So opposite arm, opposite leg working, and then we're going to switch sides. Row back, squeeze glutes, lift legs. If you've got your weights, you're putting weights in, have your weights under your hands ready. Row back, come back to center, other side. So if you're putting weights in as well, you could take it so your palm would be going up to the ceiling, or you could do it where you're literally going more tricep-y, so your weights kind of like your walking position with your hand going up towards your hip. You can try a bit of both. Keep an eye on the pelvis. It might want to slip out of this, so keep working with the core. to keep that pelvis in that position, neutral spine. Eye gaze to the front of the mat. Feel that squeezing on the glutes. Exhale into the move, so 4 more. Nice, let's put the weights to the side. Quite a good one that. You'll feel lower back and glute strength from that one. Let's take a low lunge. Step forwards with one foot. Option here, if you want to put a cushion in, I'm going to do that today. Just under that, the knee that's on the mat. Low lunge, and here also you can put a foot stretch in. So if you can see, I've just tucked my toes under at the back. So also another little option to put that in there. So we're going to invoke the hummingbird here. Going back to our birds. Arms out to the sides. You think hummingbirds, they flick their wings. And just take some small circles here. You choose if you want to count here or just a certain amount is enough. Straighten the front leg and sweep those hands down into a hamstring stretch. And then we can come back up again, low lunge, hummingbird. So hummingbird tends to connotate feelings of hope, healing, and joy. When you're ready, hamstring stretch, flexing that foot. One more, hummingbird. Eye gaze forwards. One more hamstring stretch. Nice, let's go on to other side. Cushion optional if you want it. Let's find that low lunge to start with. Let the hips sink. Engage there with the pelvic floor. If you liked it, tuck those back, the back toes under. And then again, hummingbirds. And then straighten that leg. Let's sweep. It's almost a scoop, isn't it? Does anyone do this one standing? Standing drill, scooping the hamstrings before perhaps a session. And then again, when you're ready, go into your hamstring stretch. And exhale and scoop. Okay, nice. From there, let's go back to the other side and let's find a pigeon. So bringing the knee towards the same side on the hand. Pigeon stretch. Take a moment, lift, and then exhale, bringing it down, forehead to the floor. I'm just going to demo pigeon on your back for anyone that doesn't like it on the front prone. You're lying on your back, knee towards chest, and then just gently bring the foot to the inside line of the body. When we think about pigeons, you might think about messengers. Are your hips sending you any messages? Are you ready to receive messages from your pigeon? Let's go to the other side. Come back onto all fours, bring the knee towards the hand. Your choice as well, how much the underfoot comes through to the side. There's no pressure. Some people are more flexible than others. Try not to force any stretches. And then bringing it down if you can. Ready to receive your messages. Come back onto all fours. We're going to just take a melting heart. So on all fours and then just walk your hands forwards. And then just imagine a nice line from your hands, your wrists, up towards your hips. If it's feeling too much for you, bring your forehead down. But if you can just take the stretch, leave the head lifted. And just take a deep breath here, melting heart. Big stretch with the backs of the shoulders. And then just gently walk the hands back towards the body onto your all fours. And we'll come down into a Sphinx position. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Shoulders are relaxed. Send your toes off the end of the mat. Send your hips down into the mat. The crown of head starts rising, drifting forwards. Already you might be feeling some length. You might feel that abdominal stretch. So I've got a bit of a play here in Sphinx if you want to take it. It works with hips as well. So take a little bit of that stretch away so you're not kind of at that full point where you're going for this full extension in the spine. So relax slightly, then just draw one knee up to the side. So it's just here a gentle passive stretch on the hips. Now there's choice if you want to make this more intense and to go up towards a cobra. And again, you can stay in that stretch with one knee in there. Or you could be there in Sphinx and work with your cobras. Take your hands further away. I sometimes give you cobras with your hands under your shoulders. Take your hands more in front of you. So you've got a bit of a looser cobra there. You've got a little bit more length to play with. And then bring it down and you can swap legs again. So come down, then lift the knee to the side. Just give it a moment. And then you could put in up onto the cobra if you want to. Or you could just stay with the stretch or stay Sphinx. Just a standard Sphinx. Okay, let's come all the way down. Rest your head on your hands. I'm going to go glute activation. So point the toes. Squeeze the glute, lifting up one leg and lower. Other side, lift and lower. Try and get the glute to squeeze, the hamstring to engage. Then the opposite side of the body, that lower back, stabilizes the hips. Such a good little check-in exercise this, just to check the lower back's kind of feeling okay. If you've been out in the snow and you've tweaked your lower back, you'll notice anything like this. With this kind of move, you'll just notice things. So it's quite a good one just to check in on every now and again, or perhaps at least once a week. Okay, let's go quad stretch. So just bending in one knee, reaching back, holding onto the ankle. Rest the head down. Taking a stretch there on the front of the leg. Try and just let go of any tension. And swap legs. Again, just exhale any tension in there. Any tension in the lower back or the front of the leg. Okay, so we're going to do another little options here. It's windscreen wiper with one leg, or if you prefer tilted bow. Tilted bow, you're going to hold on to both ankles. Take your bow position. Lift the chest, shoulders back. See if you can roll that to one side. Big shoulder stretch. You can also do that without holding on to the ankles as well. So you've got your windscreen wipers where you're just gently letting the heels rotate from one side and then to the other, so it's a lot more gentle. You can also do windscreen wiper one leg as well. If windscreen wiper double leg does feel too much on the rotation side to side or lower back, windscreen wiper one leg also works quite nice. And swap legs if you are doing that one. And then we're next going to go to the energy of the hawk. The hawk talks of keen observations and focus. We're going to do this with the swan dive. So I'm going to put my block in here. I really like it for a stretch on the extension. So choice, if you've got anything, you can give yourself a bit of a lift. You could put that in front of you and just resting your hands on that thing. Could be a bit of, could be a pile of books. Could be a dog, till the dog moves. Yeah, so just pile something up and see if you can helps give you some lift. Take your shoulders back, get a lift on your chest. That would be the full extension part of this move coming up. So sometimes it helps to get into that position to see how high you can get to train those muscles before we put it into without any support. But you can also keep your pile of books in front because we're gonna start here in arms T shape. Imagine your wings lifting up one wing like we're soaring through the sky, and then come down to center, and then to the other side, lift, look to the side, and then center, come to the center, then lift, and imagine like these birds of prey when they go down, catching their mouse, soaring, diving down. And you keep working through with that, so lifting to one side, and then the other side, getting ready to dive down. Eye gaze down, so the crown of head stays in line with the spine. And that again, if you've got your little prop in front of you, it will just help you as you dive to keep that height there on that extension. Exhale into the extension. Last time. And then we'll release with a cat stretch. So come on all fours. I shouldn't really mention cats, should I, on a bird class? What have I done? Hands into shoulders, knees into hips. Chin to chest, tuck the pelvis under, get some space there between the shoulder blades. If you feel like rocking, spiraling, circling, the body feels like it wants to move, allow it to move, explore any tightness. If you feel like you want to stretch your wrists, then just take it one at a time. Take the fingers around the outside so you've got equal weight going down the wrist and just stretching our wrist. And then you can go on to the other side. This is new, what's coming up next, and we're going to stay on all fours, but I want you to take your hands off the mat. So take them nice and wide. It's not, some of you think I'm going to do something, you think I'm going to do fingertip presser, but it's not. Here we go. You're going to go to one side and just let your bend in the elbow and dip down to one side, and then go to the other side. It might be easier if I show you this way on. So you're super wide, and we're dipping down to one side. It's like almost like a push-up, but it's almost like exploring space to the side. You can go super wide on this as well, so that the arm that you're going away from stays straight. So you're almost putting a stretch in there. So you can go really wide. Not an easy one, it's kind of exploring shoulder strength and stretch at the same time. Just try one more. Coming down, we're going to go front plank, elbows under shoulders. Shoulders down away from ears. Option 1, your knees are down. Option 2, legs straight, hold. You might feel the stretch there on the feet. Crown of head in line with spine. Bring all that attention to the core now. So go back on pelvic floor, go to the TVA, pulling in, tuck the pelvis under. And just breathe. I see a lot of buzzards up here when I'm out running. Just going on about the birds of prey we've just done, but when I'm out running, I don't know if it's the same one, but I see them a lot, and they're so beautiful. And yeah, that thought just came to me then. Couple more breaths. Keep holding them plank. We're going to release from here, child's pose. So sit back towards your heels. And here we're going to think about the dove. Bring the forehead down. You could allow your shoulders to relax and just hold on to your heels if you want to. Or if you prefer, arms forwards, take more of a stretch. Just sending the breath to the lower back, expand. And when we think of a dove, we think of peace. So just bring some peace here to the body, bring some rest, peace and purity. 3 deep breaths. Okay. Bring yourself away from that one to, we're going to go knee drop. So we'll start in a seated position. Just kind of sit with your length of your mat. Exercise 1, if anyone's been to Kenya, this is what they call it. They do it for a hip release. So you can play here with how wide your feet are. Feet together feels different to feet a little bit further apart. So you can kind of have a little explore with that one as well. It's also a bit of a stretch for the wrists. Choice here, you can put a thread in, thread through. So lifting up one hand, thread it underneath the other. So if you feel like a little bit more of a twist. Always makes me move forwards. I don't know if anyone else is finding that. Sort of moving off the mat. Just a couple more of these. Whether you've got your hip, just the hip drop, or whether you've got your thread through in there as well. Okay, pick a side and get your loop bands if you like putting them in on your crown. Just above the knee. Lower yourself down, bend the knees. Heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. Lift up your heels so they're a little bit higher than your hips. Can you touch your heels? Lift and lower them. Try not to look down at the feet. So just looking forwards. Exhale into the lift, inhale as you lower. Nice stretch here on the neck also. Just check on the core. Sometimes we go on the side and we just lose it. We just think, we're thinking about all these other things. And also the pelvis. arching in the lower back. So just keeping an eye on those things. I'm going for about 15 here. Very loose with my counting today. I don't know if birds count. I doubt it. Okay, just the bottom leg can lower. Keep the knee bent, straighten the top leg. Lift it a little bit higher than the hip. Small circles, the size of an egg. Work there into the one leg circle. For one way, for the other. Try and keep some control here so we're not kind of going up slowly, coming down fast. So just same pace all the way around. And release down. Maybe we'll come out of the bands now. I'll explain why. I think we just take the tension off there. Double leg lift, then lift top leg, lift bottom leg. We're just doing this for a stretch. Lift up the rib cage. Take the arm up to the ceiling. And then just taking a little bit of a circle here with that rib cage lifted. And release that down. Side kicks coming up, but you can. I'm going to give you an option here to put in a free weight. Should have said that at the beginning. Sorry. Okay, so side kick. Keep that bottom knee bent for support. So you can rest your head here on your other arm bent underneath. Flex the foot on the top leg, hip height. Kick it forwards, point the toe, bring it back. So here's some options coming in. This is a stretch for the hamstring mainly, but it's also very hip based. You could put in a twist, so as the leg goes forwards, drop the other elbow. And then sweeping down, the elbow comes forwards. If you want to put the weight in, you've got your weight here. So your leg goes forwards, your weight's going to go back. And then as your leg goes back, bring your arm up forwards. Try and keep that weight just above the leg height there. So it's less of a twist if you're putting the weight in. You're kind of going to stay facing the way that you're facing on your side. You won't be putting that twist in, but you'll be staying strong through the center. Quite a nice full body on that one. Okay, let's go on the other side. Clams. Bending the knees. Almost like you're going to fall forwards, heels in line with hips, in line with shoulders. Lift up those heels higher than the hips. Find the core. Work into your lift and lowers. Feel it on the glute med, so this is kind of on the outside the back of your bum. Keep the control, so we shouldn't be rocking here with the hips. That's why I sometimes go hand on hip. I check I'm not kind of rocking in there. I gaze forwards, try not to look down at the legs. I don't think I put any beach birds into. Just thinking I was on the beach today and there was some sandpipers. Didn't put any beachy birds into my class, did I? Well, now I did. Mentioned them now. Let's just go a couple of more of these. Exhale into the lift. Inhale up. Let's take the double leg lift. Lift. Oh no, nearly forgot the one leg circle. Extend that top leg. Other leg bent for support. Small circles the size of an egg. With control. Pull one way, for the other. Just strengthening the outside of the leg is going to help if you run and you cycle, things like that. Stops the neopronating. It's hard work though, working the lateral part of the body. Double leg lift, then you can just leave the bands in for this first bit. Lift top leg, lift bottom leg. Lift the rib cage, arm up to the ceiling, take the balance, engage the core, then take some big swooping circles. Try and keep that rib cage up, those toes and feet up from the floor. And release, come out of the bands. You can loop band with a side kick. It's quite hard though. It's not nice on a stretch so much either. Free weight options are there if you want them. Just bend that bottom leg so you've got some nice support with the balance. Lift the top leg up at hip height, flexing that foot, kicking forwards, point the toe, bring it back, get that hamstring stretch in there. Exaggerating your flex and point. You might even feel the calf muscle working too. And then you can put in a twist here if you want to drop that top elbow, opening out, and then bring it forwards. Quite nice, just moving the body. If you've been quite cold recently, been wearing lots of layers, you might really feel like you need to move the body and work with that. Otherwise, you've got your option to put in your free weight here. Leg goes forwards, you just drive the free weight back, a bit like a back row like we did earlier in the all fours. And then bring the weight forwards as the leg goes back. Try and keep it all at hip height here. It's going to want to drop. The foot will want to drop down. The arm will want to go below the hips. Keep that flexion on that foot and then going into that point. 2 more, whichever version you're on. Nice. Okay, weight down. Let's go on to our backs. I'll just check the time. How am I getting on? And I'm a bit behind time. I think I might end up going slightly over. Just so I get carried away. Head down then, shoulders relaxed, length at the back of the neck. We're going to go to the 100. We're going to go 5 sets. It's going to be 4 toe taps. It's going to be an 8 pulse and then 8-second hold. Take the feet slightly further away. Let's get right angles behind the knees. Knees, feet hip width apart, shoulders relaxed, palms up. Find the core, find that pelvic floor, find that TVA. Imprint that lower back down. Lift and lower. This is your toe taps. 4 and 3. Try not to have the hips tilting side to side with that. 2, 1. Lift head and shoulders, pulse the arms up and down. Keep the tummy still. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fingertips towards your kneecaps. Lift up the rib cage. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. And again, if you want, tabletop this. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ready, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go again. 4, 3. Still imprinting that lower back down. And 1. Ready, pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And again, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Teasers if you want them. Lift. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time with this. 4 and 3, 2, and 1. Pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold. If you're on those teasers, lift up the chest. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Full body stretch. Give everything a bit of a squeeze. Scrunch up the fists. Point the toes. Get your shoulders to touch your ears. Scrunch up your face. Take a really big deep breath in. Breathing out, just release those muscles. Just relax for a moment. We're just going to bend the knees, feet on the mat. And just take a heel slide. Slide one heel, bring it back to center. Keep the hips nice and still. Length there at the back of the neck. Shoulders relaxed. Choice here, you could put this into a tabletop, so go back on tabletop. Single leg, stretch it. Lengthen one leg and bring it back up. If you want more of a challenge, lift head and shoulders, tuck your fingertips behind your ears, lifting up the rib cage, and see if you can hold nice and still into your lift and lengthen. You can also do that, just that little bit of a chest lift. Try not to just do a neck lift, so think about the actual rib cage and chest in a lift. You can do that on heel slide as well. What you want to feel is just at the bottom of that rib cage, rectus abdominis, is just working for you to get a little bit of a lift, taking that rib cage, taking it down towards the hips. 4 more of these. Heel slides or leg lengthens, single leg stretch. And then placing the feet down, crossing the legs. We're going to do an exercise going into eagle, but we're not going to put the arms in yet. Lifting this up to tabletop. Bit of a squeeze. Lift and lower. Think about the same muscles we were just engaging there. The lower muscles to control that imprint. Just touch the toes down, lift and lower. Try not to arch the lower back. Then let's add in some arms here. So whichever knee you've got on top, the opposite side of the body, get that elbow underneath, eagle arms. Let's go back to the eagle. Crunching in. And then opening out, toe touch the floor. So if you can do 4 like this. In and release. Exhale, lift and lower and lift and lower. On that last one, release the arms. See if you can just grab the shins or the ankles. Take a glute stretch. Try not to let the chin lift up to the ceiling there, so just try and keep the length at the back of the neck. Release, but we're going to hamstring stretch from here. So that top knee, that knee was in the front, take that leg up to the ceiling. If you want to put your long band in, grab your long band. You can hold your long band on your foot. Flex and point is always an option in your hamstring stretches as well. Push away at the back of the knee. Keep that hamstring, shoulders relaxed. Length at the back of the neck. And then just taking that leg out to the side, especially if you've got a band, that's a little bit easier. Then bringing that foot down, we're going to go to the other knee, going to come across, go to the other side. Let's begin. Arms down by the sides, palms up. Lift to what would be that tabletop, and then just toe toe tap down, lift and lower forward these. Find the core muscles in here again. Think of your eagle. Think of this power, the strength we're developing in our core. Then you're going to take that elbow, the opposite arm underneath. Let's find eagle arms. Everything coming in. And then lowering down, just tapping with the toes. With control here. And that last one, number 4, release the arms. See if you can grab hold of the ankles, shins, or sides of the legs. Draw the ankles towards the hips. Shoulders relaxed. Glute stretch, also hips. Lots of hip stretches tonight. Your hips will feel amazing tomorrow. And then placing the feet down, that leg that was on the top is going to go up into your hamstring stretch. Long bands if you want them. Flex and point if you want it. Push away at the back of the knee. Just check you're not lifting your hips, your bum off the mat with this stretch. Shoulders relaxed, you're getting that length at the back of the neck. Keep working at just pushing away at the back of that knee, engaging that hamstring. Couple of deep breaths. Take that leg out to the side, stretching that inner part. And then just placing the bands to the side. Arms up to the ceiling, bend the knees. And just here we're going to take the feet about hip width apart. Arms over the head, allow the knees to drop out to the sides. Come back to center, take the arms back over. Knees drop to the sides. It's a bit like what we might do a butterfly stretch. But it's kind of, again, it's just hip work. You can take the feet wide with this as well. You can take them a bit wider. Coming back to center. Take your time with this. Isn't one to rush through. Just easing out this nice gentle stretching. Try not to let the rib cage or the chest lift as the arms go over the body, over the head. So think about that nice length through the spine. Just one more. Arms out to the sides. Or wings. I should say wings now, shouldn't I? We're all birds now. Then knees drop across to one side. This is more of a lower back release. Chest stretch. Again, you can take your knees super wide, your feet super wide if you want. As wide as the edges of the mat. That gets a little bit more into the hips. Feet together is a little bit more lower back work. And then just come to center, bring your heels so that you can touch your heels a bit closer to your body. Knees, feet hip width apart. Take a pelvic tilt. Treat it like a massage for the lower back. You might feel you can really engage that pelvic floor and then the TVA. And then we can add in, we can take it to that shoulder bridge. So start to lift up the hips, chin goes towards chest. Take the arms over the body, get nice and high into this bridge. And then just alternate your arms. So alternating your arms, one back, one forwards. Try and stay nice and high on the bridge. If you want a challenge, just straighten one leg. And then again, you can try with your alternating on the arms. So your knees are actually at the same height. Your leg is you're just flicking from the knee. So this is quite a simple way of just testing out that glute and lower back strength. Keep that alternating on the arms. You might just be taking bridge with it. You can also do half a flick. If full flick is too much, just halfway. So you can have a bit of a play, or just literally just take one foot off the floor as another way of into that. It's just lift the foot off the floor without a flick. And then we'll bring the arms down, lower the hips down, hug knees to chest, rock or circle. Bring it up to seated position. Some rollbacks here for people that want them. If you don't want to roll back, perhaps just play with spine mobility, which you've got your C-shaped spine coming to more of an upright position. Try not to lift your chin at the end of that one. Or you might want to sit with a butterfly stretch, soles of feet together, and just have a stretch for a moment. If you're rolling back, feet off the floor, hold on to your shins, take a rock back like a ball, come back to your hover position. If you want more length here, take it over, lengthen out the legs. Those that know, you could do your boomerangs or shoulder stands. Check in with your body. So just seeing what you need. Do you want more of a stretch? Do you want a little bit of a stillness? Seals. Anyone wants to seal? Soles of feet together. Coming back to hovers. We're gonna meet all together, legs straight. And this one we're gonna use the owl. Flex the feet. Maybe it's better if I demo this way actually. Keep the feet flexed. Hug knee to chest. If you're happy and you're comfortable with crossing the legs, bring that leg across. Now, this is when I wanted to demo like this. In this position, I want you just to come down into the space. So whichever you've taken your leg across, and I know I'm going to put a twist, we're going to go across, but before we do that, lower back release work is we're going to come into the space. So where your foot's come across the body, move into that space. So just a nice lower back stretch. You can bring the elbows all the way down if it suits you, or you can hover slightly higher up. Come back to center. This is where we're going to go opposite elbow into that knee. So lifting up that arm that's the opposite side of the bent knee. Hugging round. I'm just thinking that way. Other hand's going to go behind the body and putting in your twist. And this is when I thought of the owl, because sometimes I see we have a barn owl, sometimes visits, sits on a post, and the way that his head moves around and the way they're so tall. And the owl, we think of wisdom and intuition. Breathing in, inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale for the twist. So release, bring it back round to center. We'll go on to the other side. So it's hug knee to chest. Flexing the other foot. Then come round to whichever, you're going to cross that foot across, and then coming round to that space there. And then bring yourself, if you want to, all the way down. Your choice there. Again, this is kind of hip stretching, hip work. Also a nice lower back release. Then let's put in that twist, reach the arm up, then Opposite elbow going towards that knee, bring your twist in, other hands round the back of the body. Breathe in, get tall. Exhale, twist. See if you can keep that flexion on that other foot that's away from the body. Okay. Unravel from that twist. Just finish with the seated position. We'll come back to Garuda, which was where you have the hands facing. You cross over your hands, interlink those thumbs, spread your fingers, and we'll just invite some gratitude into our hearts for the bird spirits, thanking them for any messages they might have brought tonight, any insights, any observations, anything to notice, or any raised awareness. Namaste. Okay. Thank you. Sorry I've gone